Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Dirt with D Live. This is an experiment tonight. We are actually live from the Bottle Giuse Bar. I'll prove it to you here in a minute. Oops. I got out of whack. Here, let me get this adjusted up here a little bit. Sorry, I had this fixated at one point. But we are live on the Bottle Giuse Bar stage. Anyway, we're going to ask people to come up and say hi tonight. In a couple minutes, we're going to get Lexi up here. We'll get Ari up here to smack her on the butt for her birthday. And we're going to invite some of the folks in here to get up top. So real quick, before we get into all that, just want to let you guys know. So this weekend, here, I got to pull my phone up, at the Bottle Giuse Bar. Friday night, we have Red Zone. You guys remember Engine Zero, Grumpy, Wes Pang? Well, this is Wes's band. Phenomenal voice. Great guys, great musicians. I tell you, got to get out and see them. I know a lot of you really enjoyed coming out when Wes was with Engine Zero and Grumpy. And he's still around. He's still kicking it. He still sounds great. Probably one of the better voices that we have on the stage. Nothing against anybody else, but Wes has a great voice. And with his brothers in the band, the harmonies are phenomenal. So you definitely have to come out and check that out. Again, that's Friday night. And then Saturday night, we have Stealing Crowns. I mean, what can we say about Stealing Crowns? Fantastic vocals, ripping guitars. I mean, Jeff is obviously a guitar maniac. Great guys, good mix of music. You guys will enjoy the hell out of it. So get your butt out here this weekend. Also want to touch base on a few things with the podcast. So some of you know, some of you don't know. Obviously, we are live on the Bottle Giuse page as well as my page. We also have a YouTube page. It's the Dirt with D. All you gotta do is punch in one word, no spaces, the Dirt with D, and that will take you to our YouTube page. And please come on and subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the better off we are. And on the YouTube page, it's only the interviews. It's only the live stuff from the Dirt with D, so you don't have to weed through everything to try to find it. Now, what we're going to talk about now, I need you guys to come on and actually take a look and ask some questions while we're here. Lexi is going to come up. She has a few things to do tonight. Oh, and tonight is the pool tournament back. We started the pool tournament back tonight. Figure another good reason to come on tonight. It is the re-release, shall we call it, of the pool tournament. And Lexi will be taking care of that. That's going to be every Wednesday night, starting at 8 o'clock. So guys, come out and be a pool player. Come out and play pool. I'm not. I suck. I'm literally horrible. I can't play pool to save my ass. I'd lose my freaking house if I played in it. Anyway, let's swing this camera around here a little bit. We're going to swing it around. It's on course. I'm going to swing it around here and see what's going on around the Bottle Giuse. Oh, I'll put it on course. I'll put it on course, it moves quicker. There we go. So we'll swing around here. I'm actually on the stage, so usually I'm down. Usually I'm set up. Oh, the camera won't swing around that far. Anyway, there's some people. But if it goes a little bit farther to the right, that's where I'm usually set up on the weekends. We'll swing back around here. Like I said, Lexi is taking care of a few things tonight. I think we're going to get Ari up here tonight. It was Ari's birthday here just a few days ago. Told her she's coming up. She said, well, I'm hungover. I said, perfect. Perfect. Being hungover is fantastic. All right. So here she comes. Here's the young lady of the evening. This is Lexi. Now, go ahead and say something, Lexi. I got to adjust that mic because that's a hot mic. Get a little bit closer. Actually, don't get a little bit closer. Let me turn you up a little bit. Oh. Yeah, okay. Do you want to use these? You can only hear out of one side. Because, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I don't have a... Can you hear? The other ear. That's right. It's my first time, too. Can you hear? Okay. So she can hear us. How you doing? Look, you're in there all by yourself. I'm putting the focus on you. I'm not stupid. They don't want to look at me. They don't want to look at me. Exactly. So, Lexi, for those of you who don't know, which most of you do, obviously Lexi is the bar manager. She takes care of everything behind the bar. I told her, you take care of all the stuff back there. I'll deal with all the BS out here. And all these yahoos up on stage because nobody else wants to deal with them. And I don't do the liquor stuff. Said, I'll take care of the bands. Never ask me to serve a drink. Because I'll probably dump it halfway to the table. Yeah. I'll take care of that. God, you all owe me extra. So, Lexi, so you are pretty much full-time at the Bottle Giuse now. You are pretty much full-time at the Bottle Giuse now. Lexi is typically here during the day. So if you guys want to come in and see her during the day, that's when she's here. She usually hides back in the office doing all the fancy work, though. But Lexi has a pretty diverse background in history. You have a pretty diverse background in history. Yeah, tell some people about the competitions and so on and so forth that you've been involved with. Go ahead and brag on yourself, girl. Well, you're 21 now, so. I'll buy some of those years from you. I'll gladly give you some of mine. Yeah, get out. I had black hair till I walked into the Bottle House. Yeah, you got a pretty extensive history in the bodybuilding, and also you've done a little bit of modeling in there too, and you still do. But that's modeling. I mean, yeah, you can tell that, but you've done quite a bit of that. So I mean, that's a pretty impressive and your athletic background. Yep. Lexi was a cheerleader, big time cheerleader. I was, yeah, and I was the guy out in the field underneath the pile. Of course, things were a little bit different back in my day. Nah, I was always on the field. Believe it or not, I was an athlete all through school. I played football in the fall. I ran track winter. Played baseball. I was in the jazz band, and I hung out with the Hibs. So I was a musician, athlete, Hib. But I hung out with the Hibs, but I never smoked pot. And till later years when I got heavily involved in music, yeah. Well, life took a different turn. Life took a different turn. I was a good boy back in high school. I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, other than the fact that I was horrible. They all hated me. They all said, you're extremely intelligent, but you just don't apply yourself. And one of my teachers actually came to me one day and she said, I know the problem. You're bored, aren't you? I said, yep, bored out of my mind. I thought I'm bored out of my mind. I come in here and fall asleep. I mean, I'm a contractor, but I'm not a stupid contractor. We do have to still be relatively intelligent and do a little. Yeah. I can't turn that mic up too loud because it gets all the background noise. And that's a pretty hot mic, so that's actually, that is the power of the mic. This is just a regular unpowered mic, so I have to be a little bit closer. Yeah, you have power, I don't. I have to be a little bit closer. And besides, I don't have to be on camera tonight all the time. This is great. I can turn the camera on everybody else. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I told Harry we'll get her a little bit up here. We have to be easy on her. She's got a slight hangover, maybe a little birthday celebrating. I think we'll drag Adam up here too. And we'll drag. That's right. That's right. Her shift is pretty much over soon, so yeah, exactly. Take a bite out of the snake that bit you. And then, I'm sure we can get Weekly up here. You'll get a bunch of people up here to say hi. Yeah. So there's been a few minor changes in the Bottle House, nothing major. I mean, obviously tonight we're going back to the pool tournament. Yeah. Spend more, make more. Very simple. If I played pool, I'd embarrass the hell out of myself. I suck. I'm horrible. I suck. I practice before I suck. And I get that, but I suck. There's no other way to put it. I suck. Oh yeah, I suck. I admit it. I'm not a pool player, and truthfully, I've never really had the urge to play pool. I mean, there was other things that I was involved with. Yeah. Well, everybody forgets. I was in bars pretty much 6 nights a week for many years. Back in those days, we played all week. It wasn't Friday and Saturday. We played all week long. So yeah, I don't want to say it got old, but I saw a lot of bars through the course of the year. So a lot of big, huge bars. Yeah. Well, you know, and I kind of have a lot going on, so I can't get involved in too much else right now. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I said I'm screwed up and did it again. I screwed up and did something right, I guess. So yeah, I mean, the bottle house has obviously changed quite a bit, especially going down smoking. The crowds are picking up every weekend. We're getting great crowds in here. We're getting some of the old faces back in. We're still working on trying to solidify all the band schedules. We're pretty much booked out this year, but this year was kind of a fill them in, try some new stuff. Next year, I'm going to focus on really blowing up, trying to bring some different stuff in. It's been great. I mean, the new band, so yeah. I mean, we've got our old time bands that have always been here. They always will be here. But just bringing in some new talent has been phenomenal. And quite honestly, knock on wood, we've done pretty well with them this year too. We've had some good luck. Well, we have. I'm not the only one involved in this. Well, there's been other people that have recommended or said, "Hey, try this, try that." Just being receptive. I do go on and try to check them out the best I can before I book them, but that's not always the easiest thing because it's usually a fun video, and sometimes it's hard. But yeah, the band we had here a couple weekends ago, they were phenomenal. Whisper Robbers, phenomenal. They were fantastic. Yep. But they're all great musicians. They're good people too. And then Blackthorn Rose, nothing. They'll be back in a couple weeks. They were here. I don't know if were you here that night? Yeah, they were great and great people. All the new bands that have come through the door have been really good. Well, I do try to make a point of when they come in. Yeah. Well, somebody just came up, so I can't hear Lexi on the videos. So we're going to try to crank her up just a little bit. Up there a little bit. Yeah. So hopefully that'll work. If not, at least they get to look at you. All right, so we're going to do something different. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to pass you this mic. That way I know this one works. So what the hell are we talking about? Oh, yeah, we're talking about bands. So, yeah, we've had some new bands come in. They've been great. I've been really happy with them. And like I said, I always try to make a point, especially a new band. I'll talk to them and introduce myself. I'll say hi, anything you need. And kind of give them a list of responsibilities. And they've been extremely receptive. So, moving forward, we still have some new bands coming in. I have about maybe 4 dates left this year. That's it. Yeah. I mean, we kind of got a late start, but we're booking them out, and people are coming to us now. So I'm going to hand you the mic for a minute, and I want you to talk about the Bottle House, your history here when you came on, anything that you want to say about the Bottle House, since we have to share a mic.
So much to say about the Bottle House. I get stage fright, though. It's like the second I have to think of things, I can't think of anything. Let's see. I started here in 2018, February of 2018. Long ago. Can you hear me yet? Can you hear me now? Okay. I can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Okay. It's a trial for the live show at Bottle House. So where's Rick when you need him? Rick, our shit doesn't work. Come fix it. Okay, so I started here in 2018. I lived right down the street. I saw the job open up on like jobs.com or something like that. I'd never been in here before. Ended up becoming a regular first, and then got the job here as a server, and then started getting scheduled as bartender. And then a management position opened up, and I very naively volunteered. but I don't regret it.
See how they get you, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I love it now. I love the job that I do now. I love Russ. I love who I work for. He's great. Everyone that works here is great. It's the best job I've ever had. But I do think the first year of management, I cried like every single day. I just, one of those people that wants to do everything right. And it was my first management job, so it was very stressful. And I try to hold myself to a good standard, but it's a bit extreme. So I don't really reach that a lot. But time here has been great. We've gone through a lot of different things, smoking to non-smoking, different remodeling in here, rolling out of new, like the bourbon stuff and some cocktails. We had a menu for a bit, and just been through a lot here, a lot personally in my life too. And I got sober while working here somehow. Definitely makes the job a lot easier. Yes, yes. Life is easier sober for me, at least. But I did have some very, very great times that I can and some that I cannot remember. But they were all here pretty much. Let's see. What else to talk about? I don't know. Ask me a question.
I'm thinking. Okay, so we brought some new people in recently. That's part of your job, obviously, is hiring and training the staff. So we got some new people. We had Joe last weekend. We had Clarissa. Yeah. I tell them. I tell both of them. I'll get it right like in 30 days. Yeah, I got to write it down every night. Yeah. So, is there anything else happening with staff? Any new people that you're looking at, or is that pretty much?
Right now, we are fully staffed. I'm always accepting applications. I always say, you never know what's going to happen. Even in the last 6 months, we've had people move, people quit, people let go, and people hospitalized. You never know what happens. So we're always accepting applications, and the hiring process is a little bit more extensive here. I like to do the in-person, which some people are great at in-person and then not very great when you get them behind the bar, but some people are horrible at in-person and then very great behind the bar, which is what really matters. So the hiring process is honestly, out of all the things I have to do, probably my least favorite. Just because, you know what? Firing is definitely my least favorite. But luckily here we don't have a high turnover rate, so I don't have to do that very often. I still have maybe only a handful of times had to do that. But I don't know, just the whole hiring process, and I don't like to hurt anybody's feelings, so I hate telling them when they didn't get the job, and it is what it is. But yes, we have Joe and Carissa now, thankfully, and hopefully they'll stick around for a long time. I think our longest tenure is Misty. She's forever. I don't even know. Misty was right before Jenna, then me, and then I think our shortest one right now is like 3 years. So yeah, people stay. They stay for a long time. I really appreciate that. I hope it's because they like it here and they get treated well here. All the people that our guests / family that come in here are what keep us coming. And it's not. It doesn't feel like going to work when you come in here. It's nice to catch up with everybody. Everyone knows everybody, and it's just fun.
She brought the cheers to Florida.
Misty brought a lot of things to Florida.
I think she said that. I can only understand like every third word.
She brought the cheers to the bar.
Sound it out.
Misty helped me actually with how you deal with people and stuff like that. Her and Jenna, they'll get you if you get it. Like, don't mess with them.
I tell everybody, if something does break out, for the most part, I can deal with it. If it gets real bad, I'm calling Jenna. Then you're really in trouble.
That part, and Rob always has our back too. He's our little muscle, big muscle.
Adam's always got my back. Adam's always got my back. Yeah.
Adam too. Actually, my hiring situation with Adam, I had to work on him for like 4 years, but I knew I was going to get him. I have him full time now. It took a while, but he started off as part time. Then he went to go manage somewhere else. I kept him on his and he stayed pickup, and he's extremely reliable and such a great bartender and just such a great person. So he had messaged me. He was like, "Hey, if I leave this place, will you have room for me at Bottle House?" I'm like, "I will make room. I manifested this for years. Like, you are on."
Adam's a rock star. Adam's a rock star. Adam's a great guy. Love him. You know, I always know if I look back there, if anything happens, he'll be over the bar to back me up. Not that anything happens,
Right.
but on that rare occasion, I know Adam's got my back.
Yes. All of our bartenders are great. Ari, Jenna, Misty, Joe, Carissa, Kim. Am I missing anybody? Rob isn't a bartender, but he works here too. But yeah, they've all been so great. I'm actually very, very lucky. I feel like, I hear some horror stories from other places. They're just people being unreliable. That's one thing that we don't have a problem with here is reliability. And nowadays that's so hard to find. And just everyone here is just great. They're ready to work. They want to work. They're always jumping in to pick up whenever they need and help each other out, switch the shifts. They're a great group. I'm very lucky to have them. I don't have to worry about anything when I leave. Although I still do, but I'm like, there's always one person in there that I'm like, it's good. Everything is fine. That part too. I don't have to worry about it at all, except for the nightmares I get every now and then, where I'm like, I have this recurring nightmare actually, that it's like 3:30 in the morning and no one's leaving. They refuse to leave and the cops won't come. And then people just start stealing liquor and I'm by myself and it's awful. And I know that everybody else has dreams like that too. It's kind of like you wake up on the weekend, think you're late for school.
Russ never sleeps. It's fine.
I don't get rest in that regard because I really think he probably operates on 2 hours of sleep and he has so much going on. That man is crazy, but he's awesome.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. In fact, last week, so we had a conversation before we came on. He said, "Are we going to have enough to talk about?" Obviously, it went on for 2.5 hours, so we figured it out. And we could have still talked for another 2 hours. There's so much to discuss. And, some of his stories we didn't even touch on. And I want to get him on back on and touch on more of his background. The military. And I understand him very well because obviously I grew up in a military family. So I understand Russ 100%. I know he's black and white. It's very simple with Russ.
I think that's one thing that him and I get along very well that way because I'm also military raised. So I'm always like, Russ is like my dad. Like, we don't have to say much. We get it. It is very black and white. It's, it's just that language. I don't know. It's either you get it or you don't. And it's just so much easier to get it. So we speak the same language and that's great.
Also, Mr. Russ Rocks from the amazing band Dirty White Boy just popped on and said the sound is going in and out. And like I told you guys, this is an experiment. It's the first time I've done this. I kind of did it to figure out, okay, what works and what doesn't work. I think you guys have to remember, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. When I started this, I have no clue what I'm doing. I just put stuff together and try to figure out how to make it work. Somehow or another, I got lucky. But the next time we go live, again, doing this, I'm learning, okay, what works, what doesn't work. So the next time, I'll be better prepared. I mean, just have to spend more money. Yeah, it's always a problem. Well, next time I'm going to have a mixer so I can mix everything out. So I can actually have the right ports for the headphones, so on and so forth, so you're not listening out of just one ear. Yeah, it's kind of an experiment. I've got so much equipment, but putting it together and trying to figure out what works. And obviously, when I'm doing it live, on the weekends, I have to run everything by battery. I've got a couple battery backups. In fact, I'm going to have to turn the stage power on because I need power. I didn't bring any backup batteries because they're all dead, so I'm going to have to plug the computer in here in a minute. Yeah, this sucks down a lot because it's running so much stuff. So is there anything else that you want to add to the party there, Lexi? I'm going to hand you back the mic.
I don't know. I might have to save some for my scheduled date. I need to schedule a date. But it was nice practice. I do want to get Adam and Kim up here before they get busy. Before official shift change. And Ari, yes, definitely Ari. Probably Adam first, and then Ari, and then we'll do Kim. That way, Ari can finish up her shift. Adam can bop around, and then Kim, whenever she arrives, can get in after Ari.
I'm about to turn the stage power on.
I don't know how to do that. That's a rude question. All right, I'll go get Adam while you do that.
All right, guys, bear with me here for a minute. I'm going to turn some power on. Let me switch over. Say goodbye, Lexi. I'll see you soon, Lexi. Give me a second.
Hey, I don't know what it was, man, but like you couldn't hear her at all when she talked.
I'm still going. I'm just going to give her the mic. All right.
And everything was choppy.
Steve's actually here. I'm going to get him up here in a little bit. Steve's telling me what's going on with the sound and everything. Like I said, this is kind of a first time, so it's an experiment. Obviously, an experiment somewhat gone bad.
The good thing is it's still got the
Yeah, exactly. So if you can't hear anything, just listen to just mute it, and the captions will come up. All right, so next to the stage, we got my man. We were just talking about Adam. This guy is not just. There you are. Oops.
Hey, there
I spun
we go.
by you. Here, let me get you back here a little bit.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, bro.
Actually, I'm going to hand you this mic.
Okay.
So we're having some issues with mics. Again, this is the first time doing this. I'm trying to figure this out as I go. Kind of get on, tell us your history with the Bottle House.
Yeah.
How Lexi finally conned you into coming on.
Yeah.
And again, this guy, it's so great when he's here because I know he's got my back. So I'm going to hand it over. Everybody say hi to Adam.
Yeah. Well, hi. Thank you. Well, appreciate you having me on. Yeah, no, I guess just history-wise for me. So I moved out to this area in about 2021. Me and my roommates came here, hung out at the bar looking for a place, just to kind of get the lay of the land and everything like that. Got really tight with the whole staff here right away. So in 2022, started doing just like pickup shifts, helping out, things of that nature here. And over that time period from 22 to now, I just got in, really tight with all the people that are here, both, staff and guests alike. Just really started kind of feeling like home, felt like an easy spot to be at, a fun spot to be at, where work didn't really feel like work, right? So, in between all of that time when I was just doing pickup stuff for a while, I was managing other places and, finally Lexi was on me for a while about just coming and being over here and making this the full-time thing. And eventually I woke up and I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. It's been a long time coming. Let's do it.
Lo and behold.
Yeah, lo and behold, here we are. But yeah, no, it's good times, man. I love being out here. I love kicking it with you guys. I love being able to be in a live music venue again and things like that. I ran a bar back in Mississippi for a long time. That was a live music joint. So just kind of feels like the right kind of atmosphere when I'm out here and doing everything with that. Yeah. Hey, man, love doing it with you, brother. Yeah.
Later, every time I look back there and see you behind the back, like,
Yeah. All right. We'll have good.
Joe's on now.
Oh, yeah.
Better, but you out-height Joe by about a foot and a half.
Yeah, it's I'm kind of hard to miss, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. We're going to kick. I think she wants to kick Kim up here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go grab one of them. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, that is that's the dude. That guy's a freaking rock star. I tell you, when he's here, he's amazing. The customers love him. He slings drinks with the best of them. Just a freaking great guy. We're actually really lucky to have him. And Lexi was touching on some things about this being a family, and I think that's what actually drew me in here. Just the family atmosphere at the Bottle House. Let me kick some mic volume up here. Just the family atmosphere. You come in, it is kind of reminiscent of Cheers. You come in, people know you. If you come in during the day, if you're a new person, you walk in during the day, there's always some guys at the bar, and they make you feel at home. On the weekends, obviously we're pretty busy on the weekends. I know I'm pretty busy on the weekends dealing with bands. But if you're new to the area, you're looking for a place to come hang out at the Bottle House. Come over and say hi to me. I'm always kind of up front with all that wacky camera gear that, truthfully, like I say, it's my Frankenstein rig. I don't really know what's going on with it. I just got lucky and it works. So come in. So we're going to get Adam's going to send somebody up here in a minute. And then we're going to, after we bring some of the staff up, I think I'll bring Mr. Steve Weekly up. He was listening around here somewhere. We've got Carrie here tonight. And the pool crowd's going to start rolling here for too long because, again, we restarted the pool tournament tonight. So from now on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock, we have the pool tournament. I actually took my mic stand down because it was getting in the way, especially when I have to hand it off. But yeah, like I said, this is an experiment. So y'all, I appreciate you guys bearing with me. I'm learning what I need to add. So the next time that we do this, I think we're going to have, I actually got a bunch of additional gear at home, but I didn't know what to bring tonight because, you know, it's kind of wacky not knowing what's going to work. But it's coming. It's coming. When I first started filming the bands, it was kind of weird. And, you know, after experimenting for a while, we just kind of figured it out. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. I just figured it out. Get your ass on up here, girl. All right, so next we're going to bring up one of our lovely servers, bartender, server. The people here at the Bottle House do everything. You know, there is no, you're not a bartender, you're not a server, you do everything. In fact, the Bottle House is unique in the fact, yeah, put those things on so you can hear. You can only hear out of one side. So you don't have one bad ear, you just only hear out of one side. So just so everybody knows, when the girls are on the floor and they're serving drinks, they're mixing their own drinks. They're not going handing a ticket to a bartender saying, here, mix this. They go back in the back and they mix their own drinks and bring it out to you. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Kim. And Kim, you're going to talk about your history here at the Bottle House, how you started, how it progressed, and what do you think about the place? Where's she at? Should they fire me?
No, absolutely not, Dwayne. You're amazing. So my history here at Bottle House, I started about 4 years ago. Right here. Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, so I started Bottle House about 4 years ago. Started off just part-time, making just a little extra money because my daughters had very expensive hobbies. And so I started bartending here and then serving, switching on and off. And Dwayne, you're absolutely right. When we're serving, you know, people think that the bar is making the drinks, but we have our own bar in the back. So every order that we take, we are making in the back. So it's just a little further of a walk, but we are all still bartenders. So just keep that in mind. No, I love Bottle House. I love the environment, the people, the customers, my team. We have an awesome group of people here that are just hard workers, and you know, we don't have to ever worry about someone slacking or not pulling their weight. We've got a great team. What else?
Whatever you have to say, whatever's on your mind. Now's your chance.
Oh, geez.
What do you do away from Bottle House? What's the real world?
What do I do for fun? Well, I'm a little crazy. Some people would say. I like to jump off things. So the higher, the better. Bungee jump, skydiving, redneck tree jumping. In the Diddy, lost my Costas a couple weeks ago doing that. I was not happy. But yeah, I love just having fun and go big or go home.
What do you do regular life?
Regular life, I am a single mom. So 2 full-time girls, 13 and 17. So it's constant, you know, Mom, can I do this? Take me here. I need money for this. What are we having for dinner? Laundry out the wazoo. So yeah, single mom life here.
So we all just don't hang up bars over there. We actually have
Right?
real constructive lives.
Yeah, I gotta cook stuff. Like, ew.
I'm single, so it's cook or not. After tonight, I cheated. I had to stop and get some off the way.
If I was single, riding this world solo, like, I would probably live off ramen. I would live off ramen.
White rice and teriyaki chicken.
That sounds yummy.
I don't like fast foods. When I do go fast food, I'm trying to make it.
Facts. Well, speaking of fast food, if you had to pick fast food, what would be your fast food go-to choice?
Um, well, it depends on the mood. Sometimes I crave a burger, but then I'm kind of particular about what I eat, especially now because I've gotten back into my routine, eating healthy.
Are they able to hear you?
Okay,
Oh,
I'm talking to you. Yeah, I got back in my routine of eating healthy, trying to get back into working out. 'Cause I slacked for a few months because of injuries and a few other things. I mean, you can just stick the mic right here. So if you stick it right here in the middle, they can hear both of us. So yeah, I'm just trying to get back into my routine of eating healthy, working out, doing all that stuff. And obviously I'm a contractor, so I work my ass off all day anyway. So yeah, when I do eat out, I try to eat healthy. So tonight, even though it's not healthy, I stopped at Chick-fil-A, or not Chick-fil-A, at Panda Express.
see, that was going to be my go-to, the Lord's Chicken, man. Chick-fil-A, some chicken nuggies.
White rice and
so
teriyaki
good.
chicken. I was Panda Express. It's usually when I stop, that's somewhere I stop because I know it's better than French fries and a bunch of fried food.
Right, right, right. Well, speaking of, watching out for yourself and staying healthy or whatever, that is a very common question from our customer base. What do you do to work out? And I just look at them and I'm like, I work here. I work here. We're lifting cases of beer when we're stocking back stock. I'm lifting bar stools at the end of the night. Those are my biceps. When I mop, those are my abs. When I'm squatting to stock beer, that's my leg. That's leg day. Uh, like it's just working here. In fact, when I started working here, coming from desk job world, just that one day ish a week, I lost 30 pounds being on my feet in constant movement. And you guys know how we work here. We're constantly moving. We're not sitting down. Probably, I would say the fastest service in the local area, because we'll go out, go to different places, and it takes me forever to get a drink somewhere. And I love the fact that when someone comes in, especially if they're a regular, we already have their beer on the counter. Like we know what they're ordering. Like that's the kind of family we have here.
The good thing here, when I'm here, my job is more sedentary now. I work my butt off all day long, but when I'm here, I'm usually in the chair, so I don't have to move until after the second set.
Well, it gives you a chance to give your legs a rest.
After the second set, I do my thing. I keep an eye on things and just kind of am here. But yeah,
You are not just here. You're amazing.
I'm just here.
No, you're amazing.
Now the weekends suck. Fridays suck. Remember, I'm up at 5 o'clock, then I'm here till usually 2:30. Sometimes I sneak out early. It's not going too bad, but I try to stick around till closing time because I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave these young ladies here by themselves. Yeah, somebody has to be here to fend off all the students.
You seen this bicep? I got this.
I got the guys that are googling all over you. I got it.
Too funny. Too funny. Yeah, a lot of people don't know what goes into your job as well, Dwayne. I mean, just the handling of the band bookings, switching things around, moving things around. But we can't do that because we got this schedule. We can't, it's a lot to coordinate multiple parts, multiple moving parts.
When I'm at my job full time, I'm constantly getting messages, returning messages, cancellations. Can you switch me here? Can you switch me there? So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And musicians are all spoiled. I can say that because I was one. And yeah, we all want our way. I want this night, and I want that. Sometimes you have to tell them, guys, this is what I have.
Well, they're so famous.
So, that's every famous person started off on a stage like this.
Facts. Absolutely.
Yeah, trust me. Eddie Van Halen didn't come out of the womb playing large concert. He was playing in backyards. So everybody started on a stage like this, and that's what I tell everybody. Every time you come in here and watch a band, remember that guy 5 years from now could be playing. He could be playing Emily. You never know. So respect them all. Show them all love.
Oh, facts. Absolutely. We have some great bands. In such a wide variety. I mean, we are typically the 80s, 90s rock bar, rock venue. But is it the country group that does a lot of is it Blackwater
You got
Jack?
Blackwater Jack.
Yeah.
They were here a few weeks
Yep.
ago.
I love that
Soul Circus
variety.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I love that variety. And then, when Captain Chris is here on Sundays, his themes for the music bingo rounds, like it's all genres. It's all genres. So I absolutely love it. A place where I can work, enjoy my work, enjoy the music, and just have a great group of people here. Right on. Well,
I tell everybody it's family. It's the Bottle House family.
exactly, exactly. Well, I probably should go serve my family now because poor Adam is over there attending the bar by himself while Ari's trying to check out. So
Harry in the butt, tell her she's got to get up here.
yeah, yeah. Well, and this headset, your head must be massive because this thing is like sliding. What? Oh, you gave me the shitty one? What the hell? This is some bullshit. It's like pulling on my. I'm like trying to hold it up. I'm like.
It's slightly adjustable, but you know, I'll end up with Steve Weekly up here, and his head's like twice as big as
Well,
I have to hear it.
thank you, love. Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you, Kim. We appreciate it. And you know, Kim touched on some things. Yes, we are. I mean, the Bottle House is a family. The staff is a family. I mean, even the ones that are no longer with us anymore, they're still part of the family. So we're going to try. I know Ari was back there checking out, and we're going to try to get her up here for a few minutes, and we're going to pick on her because it was just her birthday. I would sing to her, but I'm afraid she's a little bit hungover, so I'm afraid she might get slightly nauseated. I told everybody, my mother heard me sing when I was a kid, and she bought me a guitar the next day. I took the hint. Anyway, and again, I apologize for some of the technical difficulties tonight, but again, this is a work in progress, and it's an experiment. The lighting isn't the best, trust me. I got this big light shining right in my face. We're working on it. Tonight, I kind of pulled this out of my hat because I had some plans tonight and it fell through because, you know, that's what happens in this industry. People get busy, people get tied up at their jobs, but they just can't get here. So I had to basically shift gears. So I figured tonight was a good night to come in here and do a little experiment, see how we can make this work. But the next time I do it, I'm going to try to do this about once a month. The next time I do it, I'm going to have more of the gear that I need. Like I said, tonight taught me a few things. I've actually got a bunch of stuff at home that I could use. I just didn't know what all I was going to need tonight. So, again, experiment. I'm trying to work like I'm filming a band, but there's no band here. So, where is she? Ari's still back there cleaning up her things. So, for a minute. Hey, Steve! I'm going to bring Mr. Steve Weekly up. Steve, if you've ever been to the Bottle House, you know Steve and Carrie and all the guys. Come on up and have a seat. Put these cans on your big head.
Put these
cans on your head.
You got a big ass fucking head too.
Ah, yeah, that's right. They'll stretch out. I don't know if they'll stretch out that much. So, we'll introduce everybody to Mr. Steve Weekly. If you've been to the Bottle House, you have seen Steve. Trust me. Doesn't matter what time of day. Well, let me get the camera over here centered on you.
Hey, what's up, people?
So, what's going on there, Steve?
Just up here having a few drinks. It's my birthday, so.
I was about to say, tonight is Mr. Steve's birthday, so y'all get on and give him some love. And this weekend, he will accept any drinks that anybody wants to buy him, especially Four Horsemen.
No,
Four Horsemen. Four
I'll
Horsemen.
drink pretty much anything except tequila.
Oh, you want a Four Horsemen? I'll buy you one of those right now.
I don't give a shit.
So I'm gonna hand the mic over to you, Steve. You know, obviously you told us we're having a mic issue, and again, I'm working on this. I'll figure it all out.
Actually, it's good to go now.
No, but it's that mic. That's why I'm using this one. So I'm gonna hand the mic to you, and you tell us again. You've been coming to the Bottle House for a long time. Tell us your thoughts, your impression, what you think of the Bottle House and the people here. Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
And also talk about the BHSN. All right, Mr. Steve Weekly.
Yeah, I've been coming here. I started coming here right when Russ bought the bar. I had a friend of mine, Carla. She doesn't work here any longer, but I've known Carla for, 27 years or so. She moved here from California. She comes to me all excited. I got a job. I'm like, oh, yeah, where at? And the place was called the Proud Pony at the time. Oh, it's Proud Pony. I'm like, oh, really? Because I had been in here a couple times when it was the Pony, and really wasn't my cup of tea, But, I came in. She's like, just come in when I'm working, and so I came in one Thursday afternoon. I got off work, and Russ was here. And I met Russ, and I talked to Russ for almost 2 hours. First time I met him. He's a Marine. I'm retired Air Force myself. So we just kind of hit it off, and been coming there ever since, you know. And it was the thing. It was, you know, I was kind of struggling at the time financially. I left the job with the government because I was working over in Cocoa Beach area, and driving back and forth every weekend, you know, and it just got to be too much. So I took a civilian job here in Tampa and took a pretty big pay cut. And so I could only come in like 1 day a week, and that was on Thursdays when I got paid. So now every Thursday, that's like my day. I have to come to the bar no matter what, you know. It's kind of like a tradition. But
And Friday and Saturday.
well, now, yeah, well, as time went on and things got better, it used to be Sunday through Sunday, you know. I was here every day, but no, it's a great bar, man. It's a little dive bar, you know, that's a little upscale for a dive bar. Great music every weekend, which I love. I love music. I love live music. And the people, the regulars here, we're not just bar friends. We're friends. Like, we're family. You know, we do Christmases together. We do Thanksgivings together. We do birthdays together. It's just a great little place to hang out, man. And you know, you go into some of these bars around the area that, you know, you walk in, you're not a regular, and the regulars kind of give you that look, you know, what are you doing in my bar? And, you know, you don't get that here. We actually accept new people. We want them to come back. You know, we want this bar to be successful. And it's, you know, it's got to, you know, met a couple guys here playing golf. You mentioned the BHSN. So we have a thing, it's called the BHSN. That stands for the Bottle House Sports Network. Also the BHEN Entertainment Network. We have a Facebook page. We started a group of golfers. At one time we had about 30 golfers. We go out every weekend and play golf and compete. You know, Russ was nice enough to buy us a championship belt that we play for every weekend. We have one of the other regulars here, Savannah Banana. That's our official commentator and host. She does all the interviews for us. We go live on Facebook and talk about our day golfing and just have fun. You know, it's just a day, go out, be outside, play golf, play the game we love, and be with each other and just have fun, you know. And then we come back here and enjoy it even more.
That's one thing I try to stress all the time. The Bottle House, it's a family. The staff, the people that come in here. And again, anybody listening that's never been here, come in. We will make sure you're welcome.
Absolutely.
Come in. We'll pull you up to the bar. If it's during the week or during the day, come in.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to pull them on rope or anything or toot my own horn, but there's many people that come in here now that are regulars now that I met them the first day they walked in. And just hit it off with them, had conversation with them, made them feel welcome, which all the regulars do that.
It's because they thought you were Jason.
Well, you know, I'm getting a little white up here now, you know.
So is
I
he.
looked like Jesus back then, but now I'm looking more like Santa Claus.
So is he. Trust me.
Yeah, you know. So it's actually funny. I had a 12-year-old kid ask me for my autograph one day. And I was like, why? He goes, well, you're Santa Claus. And I'm like, and if I would have been quick thinking at the time, I just got off work, wasn't really thinking straight. I would have been like, you can't have one because you're on the naughty list, kid. But I just told him no. I was like, I'm good. I just laughed it off and went on about my business, you know. So I have a question for you now that you're booking
I don't do interviews.
now that you're booking the entertainment and things of such here at the Bottle House. You know, not to knock the entertainment this year. There's bands that come here, they're great. I love most, you know, for the most part. All the guys in the bands are cool. They're, you know, they're really just great guys. A couple of them a little questionable, but we're not going to name any names. But they're all, you know, they're all cover bands, and that's cool, you know. But just wondering if you got anything in the future of bringing in like some original music. You know, I heard you talking with the interview. I think it was Lexi. Talking about, you know, every band started on a stage like this. So just wondering if you got any plans of bringing in some bands that are like mostly original. For instance, we used to have a band here, Stone Gray. Stone Gray was a great band. They did a lot of great covers, but they also had 2 albums of their own, and they did original music. And that was great too, to hear something different. You know, you're not just hearing the same old stuff that we grew up on or whatever. You're hearing some of the new music that's out there and what these young kids are doing and what kind of music they're making. So what you got?
You wouldn't answer that.
Huh?
So you won't answer that. So to answer your question, yes, this is something we've been talking about for a long time. Honestly, this year has been kind of because when I stepped into this role, because as we know, Bubba, who we all love to death, some major medical issues that kind of sidelined him. So stepped in, and at the time it was rush, hurry. Not just try to book bands, not just any band, try to get decent bands in here. But that is something I would like to get back to, like an original, like maybe once every couple months, have a couple bands come in, do some originals. Because the problem with original bands are, they don't have a full night of entertainment.
Right.
But we've actually talked about maybe bringing 3 bands in one night, just have them, do one set. It's hard when you have multiple bands, because ultimately everybody has to play through somebody's equipment. So it has to be people that trust each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and usually it's a backline drum or something like that, where somebody's bringing their kit in, everybody else has to play off of it.
Yeah.
Amps. So I mean, some of the people that I'm thinking about, and yes, trust me, that is right here. Some of the ones I'm thinking about, I think we can make that work pretty well.
And I'm just saying, I'm not thinking every weekend, but like you said, like maybe once a quarter or something. Just
Yeah.
have a showcase, original showcase or something like that, which they've done here a couple times.
Yeah.
And it was great. So yeah, that's one thing I would like to see.
Well, and those bands deserve the spotlight just like anybody else.
Absolutely.
But like I said, with an original band that just plays predominantly original music, most of them don't have 3 sets of music. So we just have to work it out to where we can get multiple bands. And with that, also, I mean, not to go into the details, but there's also a financial obligation that we have to fulfill. So, I can't bring 3 bands in here and pay them all a certain amount of money,
Right.
because, we do have a budget that we have to stick with.
And in that respect, I know there's been a couple times we've had some bands here that we charge to cover, which, we normally don't have a cover charge here at the Bottle House for live music, which is great. But, I understand the business and I know how it works. When I heard people complain, and I'm like, look, man, you got to understand, they're trying to bring in some great entertainment for you, but the band's asking maybe a little bit more than what the bar can afford. So they cut a deal and say, okay, well, we'll pay you this much, and then we'll charge a cover at the door, and you can have the door. It gives an opportunity for some of these better bands.
Well, you heard our conversation last week with Russell song.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's one of the things we talked
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. And, that's why I try to tell people all the time, because I remember back in the day, you couldn't go to any live venue without paying a cover. I mean, I got here and they was like, live music for free? What? I'm in.
Yeah, the 80s and 90s, it was
Yeah.
$10.
Oh, yeah. I paid $20 at the door to see a band before that I never heard.
And like Russ said, if you were a good-looking dude, you had to pay more.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, to say that, but that's the reality.
Yeah.
We don't
Well,
want
really
to
sucked back in the days. If you had a good-looking girlfriend, she got in for free, and you got left behind.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to wait. You had to wait in line with everybody else, and hopefully you could find her when you got in the bar.
Like I said, this is all stuff that we're planning. This year is going to be tough. We are talking about doing some different things, but definitely in 2026 we come up. Because let's face it, we're damn near. We're a quarter of the way through 2025 already.
Yeah, it's going fast,
It's
man.
blowing by, and just trying to get everybody booked, because when we started booking, a lot of bands book out for a year.
Yeah,
So it's hard just to, hey, I need to book a band next month. All right.
Right.
We're booked
Yeah.
up for the year. But I've always got cancellations that I got to deal with. That's just a regular thing.
Yeah.
We're always going to deal with that. And a lot of it's last minute. So then we have to scurry to try to get somebody in here. So
I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, I got a couple contacts myself. I have a friend of mine back up in Georgia that runs an entertainment company. He actually plays in a band or two up there himself. He's a drummer, and I could work with if it's something you guys might be interested in. I say we here all the time.
well, I always tell everybody when I go on here, and I say it a lot, and I actually make a bunch of posts. If you have any recommendations, not just for the podcast, for the bar, if there's
Yeah.
bands you want to see, if there's people you want to see on the podcast,
Right.
let me know. But I do that. I ask for input.
Yeah.
And everybody likes it, but nobody ever comes on and gives me
Right,
input.
right.
Tell me what you think.
And I've even mentioned to him, there's been a couple of the cover bands that we have here, and I'm like, wow, man, these guys are great. And they are formerly known as Cover Your Tracks.
Well, all right.
I talked to those guys one night because I was like, man, these guys are really good. Young. I mean, they didn't grow up. They were like born when this music was made. And
They're
were
now Flannel Riot.
Yeah,
Actually, David Lee is their vocalist now.
Yeah. And I asked them, I said, hey, man, if you had the opportunity to travel to Georgia and go play up there, would you go? And they were like, absolutely. I said, all right, well, I got a buddy of mine, and I seen him a couple videos or whatever, but then they kind of, they haven't been here in a while. They haven't seen him in a while, so they kind of fell off, and man, we kind of dropped that conversation over
They
other
booked
things.
out. They booked out for the year. By
Yeah.
the time I got in touch with them, it's hard to put a date together with
Right,
them.
and that's probably the same thing as like, it'd be
still
a year or so before you could get them up there. But
I'm
I
still
think
working on it.
I think they would do very good up there. So I try to I try to support the local music and live music and try to help the bands out as much as possible.
Perfect example. Gary Shutt's band, Supply Chain.
Yeah.
They're going to be hitting the East Coast.
Right.
I mean, they're blowing up.
Oh
But
yeah.
a lot of these bands that
Gary.
Gary's.
I tell you what, man. I've seen Gary by himself. I've seen him with 5 or 6 different bands.
He still plays with 5 or
I
6.
see a band that's booked here, and I'm like, well, who are these guys? I never heard of them. And I see Gary walk through the door. I'm like, these guys are gonna be good.
Yep, exactly.
Because Gary's an amazing musician, and he doesn't surround himself with bad musicians. He's not going to put anything. He's not going to put a bad product out there. When you see Gary walk through the door, you're in for a good time. You're in for some good music and a good show, no doubt.
Absolutely. Gary's amazing, and like you said, he's not gonna surround himself with musicians who aren't at a higher R. I mean, are they going to be as good as Gary? I mean, although Jason on the drums, my God, the guy's a beast. The guy's freaking amazing. I mean, all of them, all the guys on Supply Chain. Josh, they're all fantastic. It's 4 guys that are phenomenal at what they do.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Because of that, they're successful. And we got some of the new bands we brought in this year have been fantastic.
Yeah. Just one of the bands just a couple weeks ago. I thought they were really great.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's a couple of people that were like, nah, they wasn't. I'm like, dude, you don't know.
Yeah, you know what? There's always
You
gonna
don't
be a
know what you're
naysayer.
talking about.
There's going to be a naysayer no matter what you do. You know
what I'm saying?
But I'm going to have a country band who's phenomenal, and somebody's, I hate country.
Well, the Bottle House has always been predominantly a rock bar. And I get it. I like rock music, but at the same time, I like all kinds of music. I listen to country, I listen to rock, I listen to, when it comes to rap and hip hop, I'm more of the old school guy. Not a big fan of the current stuff, but blues, man, that's my shit.
I know. We've had
I
this
love
conversation.
blues because blues is where it all comes from. Rock, country, R&B, it all stems from blues.
Well, you and I have had this conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, and I love it too, but blues bands, and there's one in particular we talked about, fantastic guys, fantastic
absolutely. I
musicians.
love it when they come here, and it's unfortunate that because I mentioned it to somebody when they had played here on like a Friday night. I was hanging out with some friends on Saturday, and I told her, I was like, yeah, man, I love the band that was playing last night at the Bottle House. He was like, oh, so you just don't like good music. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
I don't.
I'm like, that was blues, man. That's the best shit you could ever listen to. I mean, that's where everything comes from.
Well, and you also
I mean,
gotta
I don't
remember-
care if you're talking about death metal, any of that shit. It all stems from that. The British invasion back in the day in the 60s. The Stones, Zeppelin, all those guys were blues bands, man.
We're going to sing to him here in a minute.
Everybody's on happy birthday and shit. So I'll probably go over there and there's probably like 3 shots waiting on me. But
No problem. But you got to remember, my job is also, what is my job? Put acid in seats.
yeah,
If I don't put acid in seats, I'm not doing my job.
exactly.
I'm always looking at that. Who's going to bring people in?
Yeah, and you've been doing a great job, man. It's unfortunate that Bubba's no longer with us.
Very
my prayers are with him. I think about him every day.
You and I both. Like I said, love the guy. Love the guy. Their family.
Would love to have him back, but he's got to take care of himself, and I get that, and I think everybody here gets that, and I think everybody here would rather see him take care of himself and be healthy.
Well, Bubba's still a part of the family. Don't get that
Yeah,
wrong.
absolutely. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
still part of the family.
We got a future to look
There's
at.
no
Bubba's
doubt.
still a part of this
No
family.
doubt, man. No doubt.
We got it up here.
Harry, she's I think she's still trying to close out her shift up there.
she is. I bring Ed up
Like-
here, but he'll make me sound bad. I
Yeah,
get him on here
yeah,
with his
Ed
radio
with
voice.
his-
Everybody's
with
like,
Sunday, radio voice.
Everybody's like, "Wait, you
that
shut,
guy,
get
man.
off there. Let this guy run the show.
Tell you what, first time I met him, I'm like, this guy should be on the fucking radio.
He's got the radio voice.
But hey, that's another guy. That's another regular here. That he's just, dude.
Great guy.
He is one of the best guys you will ever
Yeah.
meet, man.
We are
To
lucky.
do anything for anybody.
The regulars are coming here are just great people.
Yeah.
Must pick the wire or something.
Right.
That's started
Um,
yelling.
yeah.
That's just me.
I don't know,
But
whatever,
there's
whatever
some
you
great
did
people.
in that little break you took earlier, man, fix the audio at least on this microphone.
Basically, I just switched over one mic.
Oh, okay.
And I think I've got to get a mixer so I can run multiple mics and multiple headphones.
You gotta spend some money.
Well, yeah.
Hey, you got,
I got a bunch of stuff.
hear you, bro.
I just
You
got to
gotta-
figure out what's going to work. Though. And also, you got to remember, I got to power everything.
You got some shit sitting in the storage shed somewhere from back in the day when you was in the band and shit.
I got some shit. Of course, it's not from 1985.
Yeah, hey, it might still work, man. You never know. Hey, sometimes some of the best shit comes out of that antique stuff, you know.
But actually, what I need is a little mixer.
Yeah.
That way, I can run multiple mics,
Right.
multiple sets of headphones out.
Oh shit!
So,
Here we go.
Oh, he's coming up now.
Here comes Ed.
Uh-oh. Get on up here. Come on up here behind him. We're going to blow this thing out a little bit.
Come on up here, Ed.
Can't stretch it out too much farther. Get up here behind him.
Happy birthday.
Ed, I was telling everybody, I get you on here, but I get you on here, but everybody tell me to get the hell off once you get on here.
No.
Like, who is that guy? He's got the radio voice.
So we got
I got the shot. We got the shots.
We got, speaking of the regulars.
Yeah, speaking of the regulars.
I'm gonna hold this for him while he does the shots here. I
All right,
can't
so if you don't know,
stretch
it's
out
Steve's
any
birthday
farther.
today.
It is
We're here
Steve's
to- we're
birthday.
gonna do it.
I gotta take the cans off.
We're here to do a shot with him.
And you're gonna sing to him, right?
Huh?
You all gonna sing to him, right?
No, you're not.
Happy
no, you're not
birthday
fucking-
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Steve. Happy birthday to you. He's happy, he's jolly, he's horny, by golly. Here's Brother Steve, who's with us tonight. So, drink, shot.
I'm dry now, so I can't do that shit. Steve had to have a shot.
All right.
Look, he's got a smile on his
Happy
face.
birthday, buddy.
He's got a smile on his face.
Sorry about this.
Thank you, Mr. Don't be sorry. Hell, come back up. Like I said, if you come up here, everybody's gonna run me off because you got like the perfect radio voice. You sound like Casey Kasem and all those guys blended in one. Anyway, so Steve just had his birthday, so I'm gonna hand it back over there. Hope he doesn't burp in the mic.
I'll try not to do that. No, but that was three of the regulars there. That was Mr. Ed. Care Bear. And I just learned recently that Bud Light Bob doesn't like being called Bud Light Bob. I'm like, really? Well, what do you want to be called?
Well, I mean, I like being called asshole, but it happens.
Well, exactly, you know. But I mean, that's all he drinks. He drinks Bud Light. It just flows. Bud Light Bob. I mean, what else is going to go with Bob? I don't know.
Everybody has a nickname at the bottom.
Head job Bob. I don't know. But that's not good. That's not good.
Everybody has a name at the bottom house.
Yeah, exactly. You know, especially in the BHSN, you know, everybody had nicknames. They call me Rocket Man. Not rocket like a rocket, but rocket like, you know, throwing the horns. Then you got, of course, Carrie. It was Care Bear. Bud Light Bob.
Not Bud Light Bob anymore.
Well, he's still Bud Light Bob until we come up with a better name. I don't give a shit what he says.
Actually, you know, it's a great group of people here.
Oh, yeah.
That's what drew me
It's
to the
always a
place.
good time,
That's what I
man. It's
wanted to
always, you know, you got the guys, Bird and Toby and those guys that always on the bowling machine over there. And, you know, I used to play with those guys on Wednesday. We used to do it always on Wednesday night. And I just got too drunk and lost too much money. I mean, those guys, it's like, I think every other frame is a shot frame or some shit. I don't know. It's
dry
crazy.
now, so I can do it.
Oh, hey, good to you, brother. Good for you.
Got my coffee and my coffee and water every weekend.
Tell you what, I had a doctor's ask me one time, what's the chances you quit drinking? I said, that's not fucking happening. I'd like to have my drinks after work and come up and relax and, you know, chill.
Yeah.
No, I don't drink. I don't do it the way I used to. Now I was pretty bad there for a while, man. I'd come up here and just,
I remember a couple nights, especially a couple birthday nights.
well, birthdays are different, you know.
Well, you remember one of my birthday nights in here? I didn't make it till 11 o'clock.
Well, I was just telling the story 3 years ago for my birthday. I came in here. I didn't get here until about, I think like 9:15, 9:30. I was done 11 o'clock.
What's there?
Because, and what I didn't know until the next day was the bartenders were keeping tabs. They said in an hour and a half, I did 16 fireballs, 2 green teas, and a crown apple. Plus, like, another 4 or 5 beers. And I'm like, holy shit, really?
They got me a couple years back, Swipe Right was,
Yeah.
and they were buying me drinks, and my good buddy Brian decided to get me I just told you about it 2 minutes ago. I drew a blank. Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
So Dakota, love her to death, decided to drag me up on stage, and I put my arm around her, and I said, Dakota, if I don't put my arm around you, I'm going to fall over.
You know, that's another band that hasn't been around a while, man. And, you know, talking about the Bottle House just went non-smoking, which a lot of people complained.
Worked out.
Russ talked to me about that probably a month or so before he actually decided to do it. And that's why I said, Russ, it's your bar, bro. Like, I don't care. I smoke myself. I have to go outside everywhere else I go. You know, it's a convenience. Yeah, I like it. But if I have to go outside, I have to go outside. I said, actually, it might help me cut down.
That was actually
Because if I'm sitting with with my friends that don't smoke, I'm not going to go outside and smoke.
that was truthfully a hindrance of booking bands too.
Yeah.
Because there's some bands that would not play here.
Right, and that's what I had heard. There was a lot of bands that didn't want to play here because Swipe Right was one of them.
We lost some regulars because of smoking, so it
Yeah.
was definitely a good decision.
Yeah.
Decision to make.
So, you know, if it helps the bar, it's all good. I'm with it. Whatever helps the bar, you know.
Exactly. I'm getting static. Must be my headphones.
Add a little bit.
Which,
Yeah.
well, you know, that's what happens when I shop at Walmart. All right. Is Ari still busy back there?
Let me go back there and check for you.
I think she just.
'Cause I think everybody's tired of looking at my ugly ass face.
Look at all the comments. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Hey, appreciate all the comments, man. I love every one of you guys. You know, I never knew how many people gave a shit. You know what I'm saying? Until 2 years ago when I turned 50.
Well, I told you when I come in, if you're not here yet, I'm wondering where the hell's Steve at? He's
Yeah,
late.
that's a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people get like, "Where the fuck you been?" I had other shit to do. You know, it's like, what the hell, you know?
When you come in after me, fucker,
Yeah,
you're late.
You know, I mean, whatever.
And if I don't
But,
come over and say hi to you, you give me shit.
But you know, it really humbled me on my 50th, man. When I walked in here on a Sunday afternoon, and at that surprise party, it was like 100 people here. You know, and there was a lot of people that couldn't show up, and like I said, all the people that come to Bottle House, whether I know you or not, I love you. You know, you guys keep this place going. It's a great place, and if you don't know me, come up and say hi. I may look like an asshole when I'm sitting there, but I'm really not. I promise you.
He's a big
I
teddy bear.
promise you. I promise you. Come up and say hi.
All right,
D.
my brother. Man, I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you doing, brother.
Absolutely. That's Steve Weekly. Love the guy. Just a great guy. And like I said, you missed. There you go. one of our regulars. When you come in and see Steve at the bar, you can't miss him. Again, he does look like Santa Claus. The long gray hair, the big beard. I got to switch back to me here real quick. Just a great guy. And yeah, I was joking with him. If I come in and he's not here, when he does come in, it's like, you know, Steve, what the hell? You're showing up late for work. And if I come in and don't go over and say hi to him before I do everything else, he always gives me shit. So, great guy. We're going to try to get Ari up here. Again, as I told you before, Ari might be moving just a little bit slow today because she had a little bit of birthday celebration. So she told me that she was feeling just a little bit, not necessarily hungover, but moving a little bit slow. So we're going to get up here. And maybe a few other people I saw just come in. Tim Morrell just messaged, I'm on my way to the Bottle House. Well, Tim, I don't know if I'll still be doing this when you get here. I've already been on here for what? An hour and 15 minutes. Remember, I had a 2.5 hour marathon last week with Russ. In fact, if you guys missed the interview last week, so last week we had Russ Bennett on. He is the owner of the Bottle House. He's the one that's responsible for all this. If it weren't for him, and I told him this, if it weren't for you, we wouldn't have this. Well, of course, him being humble, he says, well, there's a lot that goes into it. I said, exactly, and I understand that 100%. But if you weren't willing to take that chance and take that risk, we wouldn't have the Bottle House the way it is today. So again, hats off to Russ. We appreciate everything you've done. Even though he's usually not in here on the weekends. If he is, he sneaks in the back and kind of rolls through and nobody ever notices him. But of course, now that he was on here, I think more people will recognize him. Anyway, I'm looking back there to see if Ari is slowly. I think she's nervous. I don't think she wants to get on camera. Said, hell, I'd do it, and I'm ugly. So we're going to try to get her up here. Well, Tim just said he's 10 minutes away. Well, Tim, put the pedal to the metal. Or squeeze the throttle, I should say. I'm sure you're probably on your bike tonight. He's coming up. Sherry was on here. Said, oop, keep forgetting it's Wednesday. Yep, Sherry, we switched it to Wednesday night. So Wednesday night from now on at 7 o'clock. And the reason I did that is quite honestly on Thursdays, you know, a lot of musicians, a lot of bands have a lot going on Thursdays. So it was kind of hard to work out the schedule. And there's going to be some occasions where I might have to do a pre-recorded interview just because of scheduling. I always like to and prefer to go live whenever possible because I do like the live interaction and live feedback. But there might be a few cases where I do have to do a recorded interview. Again, these guys aren't full-time musicians, most of them. They have real jobs, full-time jobs during the day. So trying to get everything scheduled out to where we can get multiple members of the band because, you know, in most cases, I want to get as many people from the band up as we possibly can. So there might be some times. Oh, Tim said Jessica's driving. Ugh, that means she's running slow. Here she comes. Here comes it. I was going to sing to you, Ari, but I'm afraid. I was going to sing to you, but I'm afraid, you know, especially if you're hungover, I might make you a little. Pop those cans on your ear. So you only be able to hear out of one side. Okay, you only be able to hear out of one side. Okay, but we'll fix all that for the next time. So I'm going to swing the camera over here. So this is one of our phenomenal, lovely, fantastic servers / a little bit of everything else. You do everything here. This is Ari. And Ari just turned 30. 30. I'll trade you. I'll trade you. I'll trade you. I've almost got you doubled. I'm that close to being double. So. A couple decades plus. So everybody knows, yes, I am 58 years old. I'm 58, pushing 60. Yeah, I'm an old fart. So I'm going to hand the microphone over to Ari. And Ari's going to tell us about her history here at the Bottle House, when she came on, what she does. We all have regular stuff that we do away from the Bottle House. So kind of tell everybody about you. This is a chance for everybody to get to know Ari. All right, you ready? You ready? Yeah. Hold the bottom.
Hold the bottom. Check. Yeah. Away from that.
Right there. First.
All right. Yeah. So hi, Ariel, Ariola, whichever. Sometimes saying that helps people remember how to pronounce my name because I really hate Ari. I am from Philadelphia. I started at Bottle House. I'm going on my 3rd year. I got hired miraculously. One of my friends that from back home in PA worked with Lexi. So when she saw her name on my resume, I got an interview and it all worked out so well. And I could not be more grateful. Yeah, so going on 3 years, serving, bartending. Yeah. I just want to remind everybody, I just had a birthday last night, so the brain cells are not brain celling quite often or quite as well as they typically do. But yeah.
What do you do when you're not at the Bottle House?
I'm really, really good at taking like professional size naps. I have 2 cats and they nap with me. I don't know. I like going and trying out new things in Florida that I haven't tried before. Try to do something exciting at least like once a week, just to remind myself that I'm alive and I'm not just a bartender full time.
Exciting to me now is sleep.
Huh?
Exciting for me now is sleep.
Huh. I did go to school for English though. I have a degree in professional writing, but I decided to bartend instead. I graduated in 2019, so when 2020 came around, it wasn't the best time to have a new degree. I'm so sorry. It's so.
I still remember when you first started here.
I started July 2022, I want to say. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's been around for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think of the bottle? What are your thoughts on the bottle?
I have never had a better managed job in my entire life. Like no matter what kind of job it was, I mean Russ and Lexi are just incredible. I'm like so thankful. Like I mean, I think that anybody that has ever served or bartended knows that it's typically like a toxic situation, like a toxic environment, like extremely. Like you go into work, like you're scared, you're worried. Like if you mess one thing up or you say one wrong thing, like you're getting shifts taken away from you. That's not the case here. Sometimes I'm like waiting for bad things to happen because of how infrequently they yeah. This is not real wood. We need real wood.
Look, trust me. Russ built the stage. There's plenty of it down there.
Yeah, right. We're just gonna kick on it a little bit then. But yeah. But no, I'm very happy here. And I think that you're doing like such a good job too, by the way. I need you to know that. I listened to your podcast while I was packing for the cruise I just got off of. Oh, yeah. My AirPods in. I was laughing. I think I might have cried a little bit. It was awesome. You guys did such a nice job.
Thought it was important to have Russ on. Again, he is the patriarch.
Yep.
If it's not for us, we don't have it.
Hmm.
I mean, he's very humble. Says, well, I know, but he's the one that took the initial risk
Hmm.
to come in here.
Lexi and I were just talking about it yesterday, and she said that he used to sleep here at the beginning before he like took her on full time.
But he's still married.
Huh?
But he's still married.
Yeah, right. And a little thing that people don't know about is that we actually have cots in the attic that we sleep in if we have to stay here too late.
Yeah, I've been up there plenty of times.
It's like a nice little condo situation up there. We're thinking about Airbnb-ing it, right? That's on the menu.
Don't say that. We're gonna have people on the weekends. I sleep in the attic. Speaking, there's one right
Tim
there.
Morrell would, yeah, he's definitely interested, right? Hi, Tim. But yeah, the people here too. Oh my gosh, from day one. I had like a working interview before I actually started here. The people here are incredible. It made my transition moving down here so much easier than
Well,
it could have been anywhere else. Thank you. Happy to be here.
You got a great. You take really good care of me. I don't know why.
Hmm?
You take really good care of me. I have no idea why.
Ah,
Of course, now I'm pretty self-reliant.
because I'm scared of what you're going to say if I don't take good care of you. No, I'm just kidding. It's because I love you. You're fantastic. You always have been. You have great banter. Such good banter. And I like your facial expressions. Like that, right? All right. I'm going to go act like I'm working again. Thank you for having me on. Huh? Almost. If I sit here long enough, they might just do my job for me, but I'm a team player, so I'm not going to let them do that.
Adam's a trooper. He'll kick it.
Oh, so good. So good to me. So good. I told them, I was like, just do the dishes for me for my birthday, please.
You said dishes when I was back there. I don't do windows for dishes.
Oh, I thought you didn't hear me.
Oh, I heard you. I just ignored it.
Asshole. I'm out of here. Thank you, Dwayne. And also, fuck you. Love you so much. Bye.
Oh, God, that was Ari. Ari's phenomenal. We love her. She's been great. Actually, Mr. Tim Morrell just walked in. You want to come up, Tim? Come on up. This is a buddy of mine. This is Tim Morrell. Tim is, I guess we can call you pretty much a regular here. I think you've seen every band in, like, the continental United States. Oh, pretty much. You try. You try like hell. Tim has an eclectic taste in music, anywhere from country to hardcore death metal and everything in between.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's one of our Bottle House regulars. I'm going to swing the camera around here on him. There. I was just telling everybody, so this is my first time doing this. Put those cans on, Tim, so you can hear. Can you hear me? It only comes out on one side. So I was telling everybody, so this is the first time doing this, so it's kind of an experiment. I've had a few issues tonight, which I will resolve in the future. But tonight, I kind of had to get my feet wet, see what's going to work, what's not going to work, what else I have to buy to make it work right. So Tim, again, like I said, he's here pretty much at some point every weekend. But see, Tim starts at like 1 o'clock on a Saturday and hits multiple different places. I always know around usually 10:30, 11, somewhere around there, Tim will roll in. Tim always rolls in. And he actually does a fantastic job helping us promote the Bottle House because he's always doing his videos. And he's got, what do you have, like 14,000 Facebook friends? Something like that. So he's always promoting for us, and we love it. I know he was just in here with me last weekend when Blackwater Jack was there filming because he's like, why the hell isn't everybody in town here? And I said, yeah, that's a good question. So he went up and did some videos because, let's face it, I'm kind of sedentary with my stuff. I can't move around because everything is kind of fixed. I just do different views, but at least you're able to move around. So appreciate that. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Tim. And Tim, I want you to talk about your experience at the Bottle House, what you think of it, and just give an insight of who Tim is.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy.
Right, like this? It sound good? All right. So yeah, I've always been into music. And so wherever I'm at on a Friday or Saturday, I want to look for bands, see something new and different. So I've been doing it because I was into music in high school. And so after high school and college, I ended up being a DJ. So we had a huge collection. So I learned new music, different music. My parents liked all kinds of music too. They weren't huge into country. Somehow I got into country a little bit in probably the middle of 2000s. So I ended up liking like Brad Paisley, the first country that I liked, But yeah, I had a jukebox. My parents had a jukebox in our house in the 70s. So we had 245 records, And every other weekend, my parents would take us to the mall and we'd buy 5 or 6 records, 45s. And so I got to listen to radio and listen to more and more music, just adding to the collection of whatever we had on that jukebox. So we just kept getting deeper and deeper into it. So I've listened to everything. You know, my parents were Elvis fans and Beatles fans, Paul McCartney, America, all those bands I've listened to in the 70s. And then the 80s got into more rock and roll. But yeah, I come to the Bottle House to see a whole bunch of different bands, you know, so you can hear country bands.
And you support.
Yeah.
Every band that comes in here, you're very supportive of.
Yep. Exactly. And so if it sounds good, I want to hear it, you know, and come and see it.
Good, you want to hear it.
And well, I want to share it with everybody if it sounds good, you know. So I want everybody to know about it, the bands, so they can come either where I'm at here at the Bottle House or wherever the bands go. They can go see them if they're near in their neighborhoods, you know. So yeah, when there's times where other people would reach out to me with their new bands, so I'd listen to their videos and then try to find out where they're at and go see them live.
I know, and you bring bands to me. Hey, check these guys out.
Yeah. Yep. So Dwayne's looking for bands. I'm looking for bands. Not really looking for them, but I just want to see something new and different. Want to hear how good they are, you know.
Kind of team here on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like to get out, you know. I get bored of the same old place. I get bored easily. So, but yeah, when I was in college, I was a DJ, and they called me Metalhead Morel. So I was like the first, you know, line of people in high school that started getting into the heavier stuff, you know, from Ozzy to Metallica to Slayer, Exodus, and just kept getting worse, you know, in the heavier stuff. Yeah. 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 It just kept getting heavier and heavier, you know. So there was a lot of people that didn't like it, you know. So I was a very small group of people that liked it in New York, where I'm from, you know. So when I came down here, it was like starting all over again, meeting new people that were in the same kind of music I was. So I loved the 80s rock too, you know, in like the early 80s, you know, from, I can't even think right now. There's so many bands and so many things. But yeah, I was a roadie in New York too. I was friends with a lot of bands. I'd go to the studios in New York for the local bands. So I was doing the same thing up there as here. I knew where all the hot spots were, where all the local rock bands were that were doing, you know, like the 80s stuff back then. Like, let's see, who was it? Like Cinderella and Motley Crue. That's where people look for. Bon Jovi. You know, they look for bands that did that stuff.
You got
Yeah.
the stank eye on that one.
Yeah.
He said Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi tribute.
Yeah, everybody knows Jessica doesn't like Bon Jovi, but she'll sing it if she hears it. She don't know it all. Jessica was a DJ too, just so y'all know. Jessica was
I
a
remember
DJ.
there was a band in here one night. They were playing a one old Bon Jovi song.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is great. I'm like, you know that's Bon Jovi, right? Oh, it sucks.
Yeah, right. Yep. She don't know it all, but yeah, there's a lot of songs out there. So yeah, I loved coming to this place and hearing the bands, and then I made friends with everybody here. And so it's like family here, like Steve said, it's family here, you know. You come here and you feel welcome. Yeah, yep. And then, yeah, Dwayne was in our wedding. Yep, he was the one that gave away Jessica to me.
Well,
So,
what I tell you, I don't want her back.
yeah, so we became such close friends with people here at the Bottle House that ended up being a little, half the bar friends that we have in our wedding. You know, Misty was at our wedding and stuff like that. I can't even remember, but there's about 18 of us. Small wedding, cheapest wedding ever on the beach, you know. Yeah. So we had the best night ever there at Jimmy B's.
Payson, Arizona, so
Yeah.
I would have rather had the beach.
So yeah, the family keeps growing and growing. New people come in, you know.
Well, that was
So
during COVID too. So.
everyone's super friendly. I walk in, the bartenders all know me. Lexi was the first, then Jenna, you know, now Ari and Kim. They've all been great, you know. So you get good service here, you know. That's what I like about it the most, you know. You don't have to wait a half an hour for a drink like some other places. Yeah.
No, we love all the bars around.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, every once in a while though, I like to go out and hear some really heavy metal. You know, that's why they call me Metalhead Morale.
We see it on Facebook.
Yeah, and I love it a lot, man. I have a lot of fun, and then afterwards we all come here after the big shows. We come here to be with our friends and family here. and then hear some of our friends play on stage. I'm going to the Bottle House to see my friends on stage play. That's the way I feel about half the bands that come here. They're like family and friends too. So we all became pretty close, you know. And the new bands too, making friends, you know. So everyone knows who they are. That's why I share them, you know. So I make friends with them, and I want everyone to hear them.
We've got some really good new bands.
Yeah, yep. It still continues. New bands, new friends.
Always looking for new ones.
Yep. I've seen a bunch of new ones in the last 3 weeks. I've probably seen at least 5 new ones. So hopefully they come around here. Yeah,
They'll make it here.
I hope.
I was told the Bottle House is kind of like a rite of passage.
Yeah,
And you got to play the Bottle House.
yeah. Yep.
Actually, when I had the guys from
They usually
93rd
start out at Peggy's, somewhere small, or Salty Shamrock.
Well, the guys from 93rd told me, we heard the Bottle House is like a rite of passage. You got to play it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yep. That's where I met the headbang, was at Salty Shamrock the first time. That was like 3 years ago.
I was there.
And now everybody knows who they are.
Well, this is the first place they played.
Yeah. No, I think they played Salty's first before here.
Maybe it was. But I
Yeah.
know they were here.
That's why I saw them over there first, and then somehow we got them over here. I think Bubba was with me at Salty's or something like that. So yeah, we miss Bubba. Yeah, every weekend, come in here, it's like, no Bubba here.
And I'm just a weak representation.
Yeah, it's like we're missing somebody at the table here, Bubba. Yeah, it's getting lonely at the table without Bubba. Yeah,
Fuck with him all night. I don't mind to fuck with him.
yeah. So, but yeah,
That's it. So I'm going to call this thing.
yeah,
After last weekend, I'm going to make it short.
Yeah.
Short one, but a less long one.
yeah.
Last week.
Time is flying.
I know it's
Yeah,
tell everybody to get on here.
yeah. An hour and a half flies by. Yeah.
That's where we're at now, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Last week it was 2.5 hours.
And this week, you know, all these birthdays this week, it's like I turn around, there's another birthday. And it seems like that during my birthday in August and your birthday and Halloween, and like every month there's always a handful of birthdays that just fly by.
October, there's a bunch of birthdays in there.
Yeah, they all come here and it's a birthday. Yep, next time it's your birthday, come here. All right, man. You ready?
All right, I'm going to take this thing back, and yeah, we're going to slowly wrap this thing up. And again, that was a buddy of mine, Tim. He is definitely an avid supporter of the Bottle House, and we appreciate it. And yeah, he definitely is a big part of helping me and all of us, when Bubba was here doing his videos, to kind of show people what's going on. Anyway, so we talked about a few things. One thing I do want to bring up tonight, and she's not here, and I didn't want to ask her to come in on her night off, but the lovely Jenna. It was also her birthday. Jenna, if you are watching, or if you do watch this thing, we love you. Love you to death. You're just phenomenal. The place would not be the same without Jenna. And on that note, so this weekend, like I said before, so let me see here. So Friday night, and you think I'd have all this stuff memorized by now, and actually I do. I just want to make sure I'm right. So Friday night, we have Red Zone. We have Wes and the boys back in. Wes is just an amazing vocalist. I mean, the band, they're phenomenal. They're fantastic. So you definitely want to come see Wes again.
Good.
Well, if you remember Engine Zero and Grumpy,
Yep.
yeah, Wes is phenomenal. And him and his brothers, they just harmonize so well together. They sound awesome together. And then Saturday night, we have Stealing Crowns. Stealing Crowns and the boys are back, and I mean, those guys are just, they're awesome. They have a phenomenal set list. They're just great guys. So we're looking forward to that. We touched on a few things tonight. Again, one thing I've always loved about the Bottle House and coming here, it is a family. You walk in, you get the Cheers feel here. You walk in, people say hi. I know it's more difficult on the weekend when we're busy. You know, you kind of walk in and blend in. But if you come in here during the day or during the week when the crowd's not what it is on the weekend, you're always welcome. You come in, step up to the bar, somebody is going to talk to you and make sure you're welcome here. And the staff here is going to take phenomenal care of you. I think Steve said, you know, it's kind of like it's a dive bar. It's a dive bar in a sense that everybody here is friendly and welcoming, but it's an upscale dive bar. It's not just the typical place you run into where everything is dank, dirty, and this place is we'll call it a clean dive bar. How's that? And a dive bar only in the sense that you're always welcome here. You can come in whether you're having a good day or a bad day. You just want to come in and have a drink and chill out. You're always welcome at the Bottle House. Again, so we have an event pretty much every night of the week. All you have to do is go try to make sure it's updated once a week. there's always the header on the Facebook page of the activities that week. And then, I try to post on there the bands that are playing that weekend. Some people have asked me to extend it out and post the bands for a couple weeks out. Well, I kind of like doing it the week of, because then we focus on that band. I'm still working on doing some few more things for that with advertising and, doing more videos for the bands. But I've also got a lot going on. So on top of this, again, as most of you know, I do work full time. I'm a contractor, and I typically work about 60 hours a week there, and then my time here. So usually Sundays are about the only day that I have any time to sit in front of my computer. And I've been trying to sleep in on Sundays. Haven't had much luck. So bear with me, folks. Bear with me. I'm not younger anymore. I can't handle these short nights. 4 hours of sleep, it doesn't cut it at my age. So on that note, again, I want to thank everybody here at the Bottle House for allowing me to grace the stage. We did have some technical issues tonight. And again, it's the first time doing this. It was kind of we'll call it a learning process. Now I know what I need to do for the next time. So the next time we do this live, we're going to be all set and have the right equipment. And on that note, guys, appreciate anybody that stuck around. Appreciate you guys watching. Remember, we are on the Bottle House Facebook page with The Dirt with D. We also have the YouTube page. The YouTube page is The Dirt with D. All just one word, no spaces. Look it up. On the YouTube page, it's only the interview videos. It's only this stuff, so you don't have to weed through the other stuff to get to it. So definitely go there and give us a subscribe to that. It takes a long time to get to the point where you can monetize YouTube. Trust me, a long, long time. But if it ever does get to the point where it is monetized, every penny we make will go back into the podcast. Improving things, improving my studio, improving the equipment. Just making sure that we grow this thing in the future. And Russ and I have talked about maybe branching out into a few other things on the podcast, not just necessarily music related, but doing some other things. And I ask everybody, if you have any recommendations, advice, people you want to see on here, bands you want to see at the Bottle House, let us know. Let us know. We're definitely willing to listen to anything. Like I said, I always post on the Facebook, hey, if anybody has any recommendations, go on there and say something. I post it and get a bunch of likes, but nobody ever goes on. So if you, like I said, if there's something you want to see, even if you don't want to see me on here, you want somebody else doing this, just let me know. I'm receptive to everything. Anyway, folks, on that note, I'm going to cut it. Last week's show was a long one, so tonight we're going to cut it off. We're still on here a little over an hour and a half. So Lexi's back there taking care of the pool tournament. Again, tonight we started the pool tournament up again. I don't know where dart tournament came from. So anyway, she's back there running the pool tournament. Come by on Wednesdays. It starts at 8 o'clock. Get involved in that. I promise not to play because everybody will laugh at me if I do. So anyway, folks, next week we'll be back on live on Wednesday night. Again, we switched to Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. We'll get back to kind of our regular format next week. I'll be back in the studio, and we'll have got some guests coming on next week. Some guys you're really going to want to watch for this because I've got some amazing guys coming on next week and just amazing musicians. Anyway, on that note, see ya.